All right, so let me get this screen going here. I need to get up here and get to the full screen. Okay, here we go. So more algebraic properties, the symmetric property. All that says is if I solve an equation and I end up with 2 equals x, that's the same thing as saying x equals 2. And we usually do have our answers for equations with the variable on the left-hand side. These properties of equality, I believe you learned last year when you went to solve equations. Basically, as long as you add, subtract, multiply, or divide each side of the equation by the same number, you maintain equality. I'm going to go ahead and erase some of this. Okay, so the first one is, oops, guess what? I forgot to go back. And let me get a bigger eraser first of all. All right, I skipped a page, or yeah, a page. So I'm going to go back. Sorry about that. Let's go back to um, how to solve equations. Definitely like you to follow these rules. You always want to see, first of all, if you have to get rid of a um, fraction or decimal, get rid of that first. Much easier to deal with whole numbers or integers. If you need to distribute, you must do that. If after you distribute, there's like terms to combine, you have to combine like terms before you start adding and subtracting. I'm really pretty strict on that because you end up confusing yourself and getting the wrong answer if you don't simplify each side of the equation first. Then you auto subtract to get the variable one side, multiply or divide to get the variable by itself on one side. So we are doing over the properties. I did that a little backwards. Now let's solve this equation. So no fractions, yay. No decimals, yay. But we do have to distribute. So let's distribute. We get 10 minus 8x equals 10 minus 14x. So let's add 14x to both sides. And I always try to line up my zeros, or sorry, line up my equal sign so it's the left side and right side of the equation. So this is going to be 10 plus 6x equals 10. Right? So then let's subtract 10 from both sides. And you'll have 6x equals 0. Right? Then divide both sides by 6. And you'll have x equals 0. Yes, 0 can be an answer to an equation. So let's check it. So you have 10 minus 8 times 0. Does that equal, so I have to put a question mark, 10 minus 14 times 0. I'm simplifying the left side. I get 10 minus 0. So when I simplify that side, I get 10. And on the other side, I'm going to do the same thing. I get 10 minus 0. And 10 minus 0 is 10. So now I can take the question mark off and check because I know I have the right answer. All right, let me get rid of this. We'll erase all of this. Now we're going to deal with fractions. So don't let fractions scare you. I have here you want the least common multiple. That's what you're looking for. So the smallest number that both denominators go into, because we're going to look at the denominator, which is the bottom number. All right, so our two numbers are 6 and 3, and the smallest number they both go into is 6. So I always put my parentheses or brackets, right, around each side before I multiply because I have to multiply everything on this both sides by 6. So if there's more than one term, all those terms get multiplied by 6. So this is going to be 6x divided by 6 minus 42 equals 2 times 6 divided by 3. So these 6's can cancel. So 6 divided by 6 is 1. So I have x minus 42 equals, this will be 12 divided by 3, which is 4. So then I'm going to add 42 to both sides. This is an addition. Okay. So you're going to have x equals 46. So let's go back and check and see if that is true. So here's my check. I'm going to have 46 divided by 6 minus 7. Does that equal 2/3? Well, I'm going to have to get a common denominator. So 46 over 6. In order to subtract, I have to have the same denominator. So if I multiply top and bottom here by 6, I'll get 42/6. Right? Does that equal the 2/3? Well, 46 minus 42 is 4. 4/6. Does that equal 2/3? It sure does. You just have to reduce. So we'll go over here and say 2/3 does equal 2/3. So it checks. I know I have the right answer. Always, beauty of algebra, you can always check your work. Okay, I'm going to make this a bigger parentheses here. So now, a fraction again. You can decide to distribute, but then you're going to be left with another a fraction. So what I like to do is, you understand this is 1/4, right, times n minus 16. Oops, this is 16. Times 7 plus 2n. Right? And this is a number multiplied by n minus 16. So I'm just going to go ahead and multiply both sides by 4. Well, 4 times 1/4 is just 1. So then I have 1 that I'm going to have to distribute to the n minus 16. So it's going to give me 28 plus 8m over here. Well, 1, if I distribute that, I'm just going to get 1 times n minus 16 is n minus 16 equals 28 plus 8m. I don't have any like terms on either side to combine, so I'm just going to take care of my m's. I'm going to subtract m from both sides. I'm going to get negative 16 equals 28 plus 7m. Then I'm actually going to subtract 28 from both sides. And I'm going to get negative 44 equals 7m. Divide both sides by 7. So I'm going to have, I ran out of room, but if I go over here, I'm going to keep it as negative 44 over 7 equals m. And then using the symmetric property, I'm just going to write that as m equals negative 44 sevenths. And you can check that, and it will work in the equation. I'm just running out of time. I'm going to get through as much as possible. Now, how about equations with decimals? Best thing to do there is multiply by a power of 10 so that your decimals get eliminated. So I can multiply both sides of this equation by 100 because that's going to allow me to eliminate my decimals. If you want to deal with decimals, go ahead. I just think it's easier to get rid of them. All right, so this is 100, 100. So this is going to be 500m plus 389 equals 2,524. So subtract 389 from both sides. Oops, 389. I'm going to get 500 down. Equals, this is an 8, so this is going to be 5, 3, 1, 2. And then divide both sides by 500. And you'll get, I have to do it long here. Long divisions will be good practice. Okay. So just look at 500 into 2,000. It's going to go 4 times. So that's going to be 2,000. And then subtract. It's going to be 135. Bring down a 0. Oops. I need this to go here. 4 points. Bring down 0. 5 goes in to 13 twice. So that's going to give me 1,000. 3, 5, 4, 0. 5 goes into 35 7 times. So it's going to be 4.27. So m equals 4.27. There you go. 2 more slides. Just making sure you follow these instructions when setting up a word problem. You have to identify the variable. I'm more interested in you being able to set it up than actually solving it. So if you can't set it up, you got to go back and slow your thinking down. Then you have to write the equation, and that means your unknown variable is with another number on one side of the equation. Then you're going to solve the equation, answer the question, and check yourself. Does your answer make sense? So, Barrett, are you leaving? Okay, I'll leave. Bye. Here, let me give you a quick hug. All right, love you. Take care. Oh, see ya. Bye, honey. Be safe. Calm. Text me when you get there, please.
Yeah. If I don't remember, text me around 6.
I will. Okay, drive safe.
Yep.
Love you.
Love you too.
Okay, so a carpenter is building a rectangular fence for a playground. One side of the playground is the wall of the building, 70 feet high, wide. He plans to use 240 feet of fencing. So let's say here's the building right here. Here's your building. So I don't have to cover this fencing. I'll use a different color. I need to, we'll go to the red. So I know this is 70. It's rectangular, so this side is going to be 70. So I need to know the length. That's my unknown. That's what I'm going to call x, because that's what he's asking me to find. What is the length of the playground? So to find my variable, x equals the length of the playground. All right, and write your equation. Well, what do you know? If I have x plus x, which is 2x, plus only this 70, because this purple side's already taken care of, that has to equal 240. So now let's solve the equation. 2x plus 70 equals 240. Subtract 70 from both sides. I have 2x equals, what, 170? Divide both sides by 2. So x is going to equal 85. 85 feet. That's the length. So length equals 85 feet. Let's check to make sure that works. So if I had 80, if x is 85, well, 85 plus 85 is 170, and 170 plus 70 is 240. It checks. My answer does make sense, so we're good to go.